Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. I pride myself, if that's the appropriate word, in talking about everything in life. And given the Super Bowl's proximity and the vast interest in football, plus the vast interest in the man that I am about to introduce, I'm delighted to have in my studio Fred Dreyer, who is the star of the series Hunter. You know this team?
You're making me feel at home, Dennis.
That's my
you're
intent.
A host. What a host.
What a host. That is well said. I have nothing to do with this. All credit goes to Sean. An all-pro defensive end in his National Football League career for the late and somewhat lamented Los Angeles Rams, who are now in St. Louis. By the way, you think L.A. will ever have a team?
I think they're closing in on it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are they going to name it?
Well, if the Rams come back, which is probably the front runner.
Is that right?
Yes.
They might come back to L.A.?
There's a good chance of it.
Has that ever happened? Well, the Raiders
No.
went back and forth, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
the Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders went back and forth, but not like this. They were gone the Rams have been gone for 20
So St. Louis cannot
years.
support an NFL team? Is that the problem?
Well, the stadium, it's in the lease that the stadium has to be up to snuff of the top, 10, 15, 20 stadiums, and it's one of the worst. So the cities have already said that they're not going to renovate the stadium and bring it up to snuff. And this coming year is the last year on the lease. So they've got to declare here. By this summer, they'll probably declare.
Boy, St. Louis is known as such a loyal fan base.
For baseball.
Oh, is that the way it works?
Well, they got a great baseball franchise.
No, kidding.
You know
the Cardinals are incredible.
They're the best.
No, I know. That's very interesting. So the Rams might come back to Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's meanderings about it because Kroenke, who owns the Avalanche and the Nuggets, as well as the Rams, I think he's more leaning towards. Look, when you're the owner of the Los Angeles Rams, Georgia Frontiere,
right,
and you take the L.A. Rams out of the number 2 market,
right,
take them to the number 22 market,
right,
you have hurt your franchise.
Why did she do that?
Because I don't like to talk about the dead in a negative way.
Don't talk about her.
But here's what it is. It's
by the way, I love that. I don't want to talk about the dead in a negative way, which already suggests that you have something negative to say.
That's right. And that's why I don't want to.
I understand.
Yeah, but and everybody knows this. She just decided she's going to pull the Rams. She pulled a tantrum, pulled the Rams out of L.A. because she didn't like the criticism. And she's not a football person, certainly. And there was no football people around her that she empowered. John Shaw was her attorney and the guy who brokered the deal in St. Louis. She went back to St. Louis because they had an infrastructure there that the Cardinals used to have.
Right.
But they went to Arizona. So,
that's right.
So now you've got people jumping all over the place. And so when she did that, there was talk here. I was contacted by a local group of attorneys out of Newport Beach that said, we want your help in saving the Rams and keeping the Rams in L.A. I said, look, here's what you want to do. You got a chance to get rid of her and the organization. But what you should demand is that they leave the logo, the Ram horn logo, in Los Angeles like they did in Cleveland. And you'll have a team in 18 months.
Fascinating.
And they didn't, and they let her go.
Right.
Never put up a stink.
So then they may get the Rams back.
So they might.
I never expected.